Like we're good on Facebook. Looks like YouTube might be still getting going. In the meantime, I'll share this on Facebook and do all the stuff. And we'll get started here momentarily. Yes, it looks like we are live on YouTube as well. So hello, welcome to this week's live Monday music motivation. I think this one's kind of funny. I was thinking this morning of what might be good to talk about, what might be something that would be helpful for you to hear, or really probably honestly what's helpful for me to hear because that's usually what I'm sharing on these things. But it's great to know that it's been helpful for other people too, and that you guys are getting benefit out of this and enjoying it. So today I thought it'd be great to talk about motive, which is kind of silly because this is the Monday music motivation. So you think we would have talked about motive like on the first week, but I realized we've talked a lot about action and the importance of taking action and scheduling. There's that Tony Robbins quote of like, when you schedule it, it's real. And that's kind of the approach that we've been taking, because it is 100% true that if you want to grow and make progress and accomplish something, the only way to do that is through action. Just wishing like, oh, I wish I could articulate better. I wish that I could play this piece. I wish that I was playing in this group. The only way to do those things is to act and get better at articulation, practice articulation, act and learn the piece, act and audition for the group or whatever it takes to get into the group, fill out an application, whatever it is. Action is where growth and where progress comes from. But where action comes from is a little bit less clear. I think that's what motive is, and that's what motivation is all about. There's a lot of people who will say that like you don't need motivation, you just need action. And to some extent, that's true. I also saw a great quote that was hanging up outside of one of the professor's offices in my undergrad that was like, professionals, or what makes a professional is somebody who does what they love even on the days that they don't love it. Something to that effect, saying that like to do this professionally, you have to be acting all the time, even on the days and times that it doesn't feel necessarily like you want to be doing it. But I think on the flip side of that, there is this really important idea of motive and motivation, and we need to have a motive in mind and have a purpose behind what we're doing. And that makes acting a whole lot easier. Even on those days that we don't want to get in there and practice, if we remind ourselves of our sort of our purpose, our why, our motive, our motivation, that will spark us and inspire us to say, even though I really would rather be doing something else now, I scheduled it, I have this purpose for doing it, so I'm going to do it. So I would ask, what is your motive? And that's what I want you to be sort of thinking about and pondering for today or for this week, is what in your clarinet journey is motivating you right now? What's your purpose for practicing, your purpose for doing those articulation exercises or learning the piece or whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve? For me personally, this is a good time to be sort of reevaluating this and thinking about this. I just had the Clarinet Fest competition 2 weeks ago now. So that was a great motive. I had a competition coming up. I needed to work on it. I had a deadline. That's a great piece of advice for your motivation. If you have a deadline for when it has to happen, that's going to really increase the motive and motivation to actually get it done. So that was great motivation for me to practice, because I knew I had this competition coming up and I really wanted to do well and learn the pieces well, and I think it did go well. Now I don't have a competition coming up because that's over, but I do have a recording session coming up. This Friday I'm recording a great piece with Nebula Ensemble, so that's motive for me. I need to learn this piece. I need to record it well. Having done some recording before, you never want to be like the person in the recording studio who's like, oh, I think just one more take. I didn't quite do it exactly how I wanted. So I want to be in really good shape for that recording. Then after that, I planned hopefully in October or so, I'm going to be doing a recital. So that's another good piece of motivation. I need to be practicing for that recital and working on those pieces. So for me, sort of project-based motivation is really helpful. That's always a really clear motive. I have this performance on this date, let's go for it. And the competition was something I decided to do. The recording session was less of my decision. I'm really happy that we're doing it, but the point I'm making is that sometimes we have to make our performance opportunities, make our deadlines. Last year, I had a great piece of motivation where I said I was going to just record the Copland Concerto, just a casual recording by myself by a certain date. I didn't have any real performance I was working on it for. I had just been like halfway learning it so many times over my journey that I said, you know what, I need to just sit down, actually learn the whole piece, get the whole thing performance ready. And that was a beautiful experience for me where I set the deadline. I had that motive now that got me to practice and I did the recording. So that's what I mean when it comes to having a deadline, having a project, and that being a great motive and motivation to get into the practice room. But whatever it is for you, it can be, again, I want to be good enough to play in this group someday. Again, I'll encourage you to put a deadline on it because that really increases the motivation. But that could count just listening to your favorite clarinetist and be like, oh, that's so cool that the clarinet can play like that and sound like that. I want to get in the practice room and try that now. Whatever works for you as your sort of motivation. Taking lessons is a great one because you better have something ready to play for your teacher each and every week. So I want to encourage you to find your motive, think about what you want to do, and you can even do that in your weekly practice plan, because that's the other part of these Monday music motivations is filling out your practice template. You can go to quickstartclarinet.com/get started. That link should be in the description, and you can download this template, or you can make it for yourself, or you can log in and re-download it if you've already have access to the free members area. This is what it looks like. Just the date for the week, reflection on how things are going, goal for this upcoming week, and your plan for what days and times you're going to practice, what you're going to practice on those days and times, and then putting that in your calendar. I have to look at my calendar a little bit and try to find those times that I'm going to be practicing this week. But that's the template. Go fill that out right after this so that you have a solid plan. And as you're filling it out, think about what is your motive? What is it that you're trying to achieve? What is it that you're working toward? What do you need to be doing? And why do you need to be doing it so that you can reach that next level in your clarinet journey? So thanks so much for watching today's live Monday music motivation. I'm really curious to hear your motives. If you want to leave a comment with sort of what's motivating you, what kind of motives you're thinking about, I would love to hear those and sort of interact with those a little bit in the comments. So please leave a comment with that. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next week on the next live Monday music motivation. Good luck with those motives. Have a great week of practicing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.